Halloween's almost over. Unfortunately, the sins never stop, though. At least not most places, and not for a while. I mean, it could stop tomorrow, but as great as that would be for some people, most of the world probably would not really. I don't think they really like it too much, and not just because they couldn't do what they wanted, but because they would have to face the consequences of their actions, which are severe and long lasting, long. I don't know about you guys, but the changing of the seasons seem to have I don't know, like a nostalgic effect for me. And for whatever reason, this time of the year, especially this year, was nostalgic for at least some small part, which is horrible. Like it would, like if it would just completely go away forever. But I can tell there's like some part of the Yetzirah that is still alive down in the depths. Some part of the evil inclination. The other half of a person's heart that seeks to do evil was like trying to claw its way up for Halloween. I mean, the funny thing is, I mean, it's not funny, but it's kind of weird. I think the idolatry of Halloween is probably the easiest for most people to see because of all the association with, like evil, evil and evil spirits and stuff like that. I think it's probably one of the least idolatrous holidays. I don't think there's anything that can compete with Xmas. That just takes the cake. But there's, as bad as idolatry is, there's worse things than idolatry. Namely the things that are done like in the dark corners, in the practice of practice or under the guise of idolatry, like all the horrible things people do on Halloween. Like dress and act like whores and get completely intoxicated and become worse than animals and create millions of demons just between just between between two people. I was thinking about that earlier, like how many. I'm not even sure what kind of number, like what kind of number could quantify it. Like what when you factor like one guy wasting seed creates millions of demons, and any woman that has any part in the act, like whether the guy saw a woman, dressed immodestly, or she said something immodest, or anything like that, they're like tied at the waist, not physically, but their souls are. They're like bound, and they'll, unless they do real serious teshuva, return to God and rectify the damage that they've done as best they can, they're going to be tied together in hell, in Gehinnom, forever until they're destroyed. And over the last few days around the world, there was probably like hundreds of millions, if not maybe a billion or so people, give or take, that engaged in some kind of act like that, where they created millions of demons. Is it any wonder that there's so much evil in the world? God help us all. Last week's Torah portion was I got some relevant stuff to my life. I mean, one last week was Parashat Noach, where God floods the world and destroys everything off the face of the earth except for one man and his family, or technically his wife and his sons and their wives. The sages say that. See, that's the thing people need to understand. A person's actions have such just insane, unimaginable, like incomprehensible ramifications that it's not like most people think. Like, I'm not hurting anybody else. I'm just doing me, like Robert Rubin says. I don't murder anybody. I don't steal from people. I'm a nice person. I say hi and thank you and please, and open the door for old ladies. It's just, I like to have fun. or whatever people think in their head. The sages say the reason why, well, 40 days, the world was flooded for 40 days and 40 nights. 40 is a number of, Robert Rubin says 40 is a number that represents teshuva, unlike a renewal. 40 is also the number of 40 seahs is the volume that's required for a mikveh to cleanse the impurities when Jews have to go through ritual cleansing. So the world had to get a giant mikveh because it was so just absolutely disgusting. People have become so corrupted and committed so many sins that the pretty much the entirety of creation was going against its own nature. Like animals were having interspecies or interspecial. I'm not sure if that's the word, but like they were having relations with other species, like outside their own species, like tigers and dogs and monkeys and elephants. you know, other insane stuff. And the animals were engaging in homosexual acts as well as people. And one of the reasons, God could have done anything. He could have burned all the earth. He could have just killed people and just started all over just with a blink of an eye. But it had to be water. One of the things that man's acts of sin had corrupted the earth, like everything in creation, so bad that God had to wipe off the top 6 feet of the dirt because even the earth was like just filled with impurities. So I couldn't just kill everyone and start over because there would be too much filth left, and whoever was left would just get like reinfected with all the demons and the poison and the tum'ah. So last week, when in the Torah portion, after the flood ends and Noah comes out of the ark, God says, you will not. Up until that point, people were vegetarians. No one ate meat. But God allows Noah and his family to eat meat, and He says, "You will not." Or maybe people weren't. Maybe not all people were vegetarians, but they weren't permitted to eat meat. Everyone was just supposed to eat, plants. Vegetables, basically. Plants and seeds and nuts and stuff like that, fruits. But God says, you can, tells Noah and his family, you can eat meat, you can eat animals, but you shall not eat flesh with its life, which is its blood still in it. And the sages explain that it's not to tear the limb from a living animal and then eat it, but also not to be cruel to animals. And I think I mentioned a while back that Rabbi Reuben said there's pretty much, even though it's not like specifically stated in the Torah for the goyim to not eat shellfish, but Rabbi Reuben said that there's no way to slaughter a shellfish because they just, they take forever to die. They'll pretty much rot. They'll pretty much rot before they just die on their own. And you can't really you can't slaughter them. If you cut them in half, they're still alive. You can't poke them through the brain because it's not really easy to find a crab brain or a shrimp brain and get them to die. I mean, maybe shrimp you could do it because they have a clear, identifiable head, but I'm not sure how they kill shrimp. A lot of stuff like lobsters and crabs, they keep live and then they cook them alive, which is, you know, obviously, even though it's a really low form of life, it's still life, and it's certainly cruel. So somebody went crabbing, and they offered my dad crabs, and my dad asked me if I wanted one. I had to tell him no. I mean, I want to tell him, like, you know, you shouldn't eat it either. But most people just don't care, don't believe, don't want to hear it, don't want to think that anything in the Torah is anything that's real, because they pay attention. Then they'll have to change their life, and they'll have to do a lot of hard work. And they'll have to stop all the things that they are so ingrained in doing. They'll have to completely change everything. And it's a huge effort, especially the longer a person waits, the harder it gets. Every so often I get reminded of more like lesser forgotten things about Teshuvah that I need to do, like cleaning up old comments that I made. And I mean, really, I should probably just try to scour the internet and delete as many profiles as I possibly can to get rid of as much of the garbage as possible. There's at least one account where I need to do that. I have to sign into Twitter with a phone number because it got banned or locked out or something years ago. But it's an account with like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years worth of Lashon Hara and horrible, worse than Lashon Hara. Horrible things. I mean, most people would probably see it and you know, not think anything that bad, like, aside from maybe politics, depending on, you know, how snooty and how much of a liar they are. I say most people, not all people. But life is a never-ending process of trying to scrub it all away. The odd thing is you know, the account in heaven, you know, in some respects it's always going to be there, but also, if we do enough teshuvah to a certain level, most of it will get minimized a great deal. So it's really worthwhile to try to scour scour the internet and scour our souls to get rid of as much of the filth as possible before we die, and we have to go up to the court of heaven and give our accounting and a reckoning. Rabbi Reuben said that there's two Mishnayot in Pirkei Avot that sound very similar to each other. I think one is Pirkei Avot 2:1. It's like one. It's like the second half of it is keep well in mind three things, and you will not come to the grip of sin. Know what there is above you. There is an eye that sees. There's an ear that hears, and all your deeds are written in a book. Well, there's another Pirkei Avot a little later in chapter. I think it's in chapter 2, or it could be early on in 3. I forget which. But it's similar. That it lists three things. It says something like. No, keep in mind three things, or something like that, and you will not come to the power of sin or clutches of sin. Know where you're going. No, it's know from where you came, from where you are going, and before whom you are destined to give an account and a reckoning. From where do you come? From a putrid drop, from a drop of semen that, as soon as it leaves the body, it is starts to putrefy and die, and it's like turns into a crust and just dries up and blows away in the wind. So, in case you think you're something special, remember that you are absolutely nothing without God breathing life into you and creating the, constant miracle to bring you into the world and keep you going. Because without God, there is no life whatsoever at all. Everything is just like dust and meat and maggots, which is where we're all going. We're going to a place of worm and maggot. And before whom we are destined to give an account and a reckoning before the Holy One, blessed be the King of Kings, the Hakadosh Baruch Hu, which when we are there, we cannot hide absolutely anything. All the truth will be laid bare, and we will feel absolutely naked. I'm so ashamed of the things that we did. Some of us a lot more than others. People that do teshuva, that make their best, or at least an effort, some effort, do something, an effort to return to God and rectify the damage that we've done. We have at least, some hope to not be so naked and bare up there. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention was in relation to the weekly Torah portion in my life was it's been raining a lot here. It started raining, I think, a few days before Parashat Noach. I guess it's been raining for about 9 days, give or take. There was one mostly dry day. If you guys are reading the Torah portion, I highly recommend you put forth the effort to try. I know life has a life has a habit of getting in the way and distracting us from what we need to do, but we have to make the time and dig deep and beg God for the help if we don't feel like we have it in us to get done what needs done, not what we think needs done, but what really needs done. There's definitely a priority list, and most people's priorities are seriously out of whack. Well, we can't hope to get it right until we identify the problem, observe, orient, decide, and act. I bet the everything that is any good in this world must have a source in the Torah. I bet there's some kind of more accurate, better understanding than an OODA loop in the Torah for the decision process. I think one of them is or a close one anyway. Hopefully, I don't butcher it too bad. I think it's the heart and or will, thought, uh, speech, and action. It's not exactly the same though. I'm far from a novice. Like not that I'm an expert. I mean, like not even a novice. So don't let my ignorance dissuade you from thinking the Torah doesn't have all the answers. That's one thing that I know for certain. All the answers that anyone ever needs about anything are always in the Torah. It's just sometimes it's not always within our ability. Or most of the time, actually, it's not within our ability to grasp all those answers. At least when we want them. But if we try, and we really will work for it, God will give us the answers that we need in their season, in their due time. I should probably get to sleep. I gotta get up and do things in the morning. Oh, the Rabbi Reuben explained the difference between the two Mishnayot and Pirkei Avot. The one, there's an eye that's watching, there's an ear that hears, and all your deeds are written in the book. The difference between the two is one is more soft, or like kind of matter of fact, stating that, hey, there's someone or something, or they're watching and listening, and everything you do will be written down somewhere. Just, keep that in mind when you go about your business every day and throughout your life. But the later one is, he explains that that's the like two ways to do kiruv, to help people do teshuvah, to return to God. It's like first first tell them that they're being watched, they're being recorded, and all their deeds are written down, because God is watching. First of all, tell them that there is a God in the universe, and that He made everything, including them. And as a start, within the later Mishnah is like after a person realizes that there is a God, and starts thinking about, why am I being watched? Why am I being why is everything being recorded? Why is everything I say written down, everything I do written down? And what's the deal with that? And the only logical conclusion it would be that that our actions have consequences. And once a person comes to the understanding that is the case, and they try to fight the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination to commit sins, and then we try to do our best to not get sucked in any way, shape, or form to listening to that sneaky, very wise liar that's both inside our own hearts and everywhere out in the world. Sometimes the only way that we can have any hope of overpowering that desire, or the force, if, at certain times when it becomes like almost unmanageable, is to get really serious with like the brutal truth and the graphic nature of what's going to happen, or like the sequence of life events. Like, know that we are absolutely nothing at all. We only exist as God's pure mercy. So don't go thinking you're something special. You're going to end up in the dirt, in the blink of an eye. And all the horrible deeds that a person does, however great or small, we're all going to have a really long rap sheet that we're going to have to pay the tab at the company's store once retirement age comes. Oh, God help us all. But just like God created Satan, he created the antidote, or the secret potion to knock him in the dirt, and that is the Torah. So we're going to learn as much as we possibly can every day for the rest of our lives, forever and ever. God, please help us all. Most importantly, please help us all to see the truth. If we can't see the truth, we're doomed. Please help us to accept it once we do see it. And sometimes it's really, really, really hard to accept it. Because it's just really uncomfortable and it hurts. But if we can suck it up and get to the Tootsie Roll center of the Tootsie Pop, which is the truth. Not that that's ever possible, but keep working at it. And never give up. Then we've got a chance. God, please help us all. Please help us all to grant us the wisdom and the strength to outsmart and overpower our Yetzer, to pass the tests He placed before us that sometimes seem virtually impossible. And if, God forbid, we ever fail, please help us all. Please, we beg you to help us get up out of the muck and do teshuvah always, 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 always. The amazing thing is sometimes if when you're in the process of your learning, you're going to hear some things that really you don't like. No matter who you are, eventually you're going to hear stuff that you don't like or you don't understand, and it drives you insane or makes you depressed. But the really amazing thing that it's just more proof that God is 100%, million, billion, trillion, infinity% real, is that if you beg Him for help and you just scream out to him in your heart, like, I am hopelessly lost and I have no clue what's going on. Please, God, show me the truth. Help me to work through this insanity that is in my head that's, tearing my brain in half. Most of the time, within short order, he'll bring you to salvation. Sometimes all you have to do is sleep on it. That is why, just one of the infinite ways God is so amazing. I'm going to get going though. Hope you have a good night. Talk to you guys soon. Oh, and Halloween is evil. It's like every other Goyish holiday on the calendar. Run from evil and do good.